She always has this crazy eyes. She's always smiling. Every time she's doing something, she's always smiling.
Yes.
And can we talk about those fucking hands, dude? Oh my god. Look at those fucking monstrous hands that are also, for some reason, not the right color.
Look. I did this 10 minutes before the game,
No,
okay?
dude.
So,
No, it's amazing every time. Never stop. Never stop.
10 minutes before you all jumped on the voice chat, I finished it, so, you know.
This is always the highlight at the beginning of every session.
It looks like Kasal's watching. He might jump on soon.
Yeah.
I mean, he's on the roll 20. So.
Okay, cool. I'm going to go ahead and start OBS. Oh, wait.
Very interesting picture.
I'm gonna get the Galactic Alliance Joint Defense Meritorious combination, I guess. Can I get that one?
Sure. Yeah, sure. It doesn't. It's not a huge deal to me.
I'll turn.
Wait, how
Who's the I'll turn to the admiral next to me and I'll ask her. Can I have that combination, please?
How do I get in again? So
Why is Ingstrom's picture also? She looks sick. She's like pale green. I thought that was like maybe it was the lighting in the room. No, even just the normal picture. She like looks sick. What is going on with her
Edgewood
face?
gets it. Edgewood gets it.
you said they wouldn't notice.
Bored or something?
Well, okay, I may not have gotten it correctly, but I'm thinking that, especially since it's green and she's pale,
And she has
maybe
pointed
one
ears.
of the nanites got in her.
Oh, no,
okay.
it wasn't
Damn
that. No, it wasn't that. Not yet, anyway. Actually, oh, wait. So, yeah, this will, I'll introduce that next adventure, because Edge Karava, if she, well, Guy's not coming, but, so yeah, basically Angstrom may, not next session, I mean next, like, campaign, next adventure on Saturdays, but yeah, Angstrom may find herself with a little buddy, or a little companion next adventure as well.
Yes,
Oh no.
of course, as she is now several species.
There you go, you finally got it.
Oh no! You're gonna keep.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I keep her?
You're gonna keep the freak body. You're gonna be like that one Voyager episode with the like the dead girl, where like they're like trying to change her to look human, but she's like not even really human anymore.
As horror movies have taught us, if you get
Like
rid of
me
your
in that.
bizarre deformed twin, it will come back and kill everyone. You've got to be nice to it.
Like my other character, Cheng.
I don't even remember.
He actually got the experimental genes into him and became hyper advanced.
It's gonna be like if she ever dies, just be the weirdest autopsy ever. Like, what the fuck happened?
Yes.
I mean, I had an idea, but it sounds like the GM is not going to go with that idea. So,
Depends.
never mind.
What idea is that? And can someone like copy or screenshot the button he's supposed to click to get in here? Because I can't even. I only have share your screen, turn off camera, because I've already entered. So I'd have to exit to get to that button.
Basically, he has to press the join button.
All right, I'll be right back.
I want to give it a go. And he was all, no one's gonna notice it. It's nice and subtle.
Yeah, it's
Either
the far
that,
right.
or we progressively just start living the film The Fly.
No, I mean, what I was gonna say is probably next, like, if, I don't know, I think one thing is Engstrom will be feeling a lot better now that she's in, like, I don't know, the transporter, like, scrambled her to something a little more stable than last time. So she looks a bit different.
Oh god, yeah.
Random
time
chance
it's
has
like-
made me better!
We're just
time you
gonna, like,
talk-
every time I reappear, I'm looking different.
Every O'Brien you talk to is like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Actually,
every
that would
transporter
be-
chief.
that would be fun. Not necessarily the transporter chief, but the transporters, because of course the
Oh, there you
transporters try to reassemble you based on what you should be.
Oh, imagine
And
it's
so-
different every time.
Yeah.
Different placements every time. Yeah, I'm sorry
Transporter
we go with
roulette.
that.
All right, we're about to start. I see Casal has finally made it.
Yeah, that's weird how I just can't click on it and go in. It's
Really?
when I have to hit a separate thing.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't
That's
know.
strange.
Everything's strange on here, but
Yeah,
anyway,
sorry about that.
it's all good. So
Welcome.
let's see. Quick recap: 2 players were on the Dreadnought as it's actively crashing into a planet. And Dr. Angstrom was transported to just outside an engineering room, and Colonel Carava was just leisurely making her way towards a Medilab facility near the detainment area. And then 4 of you, Colonel Lex, Shaymar, Casal, and Vosky, were on the USS Hellhound. You had just made it back from transporting some survivors and off a transport. There was a Valdor class warbird that was about to attack the transport. So yeah, that's pretty much where we are at the moment. Just to make it fun, everyone roll a d20 and let's see who goes first. Whoever gets the lowest number will go to their scene first. Let's see.
And can you just recap a little bit more? I don't remember a lot of last week. What exactly?
So Shaymar and Lex and Vosky, you guys escaped Mariposa Colony on a transport, and then all of a sudden Marines, beamed on to basically rescue you, and a bunch of people on the transport, well, the passengers were fine, but the crew
Right,
seemed,
now I remember.
Yep.
The Marines.
Big fight,
Yep. Got it.
All right, so it looks like Lex is the lowest, so we'll go with the USS Hellhound first. Alright, so as soon as you guys have been back, you get a call from General Larathe, and she invites Colonel Lex, Lieutenant Commander Shaymar, Lieutenant Vosky, and Captain Casal, as well as Casal's kind of, not executive officer, but like second Gunnery Sergeant Lamb, to the conference room, or it's basically the strategy section of the bridge in the back, for a debrief. I'm going to turn that down a little bit. General Larathe, that's standing there, looks around at everyone, and she says, as soon as you guys beam back the Valdor class vessel, which we have identified as the Javaran, a warship that was acting in alliance with the prototype dreadnought that escaped Romulan custody and is now being basically controlled by either neuroparasites or some other faction that we are unaware of at the moment. They basically just took off at warp. We are pursuing. They're headed towards a system called Halley. So I will hopefully. Oh, why don't I have the map? Oh, it's all the way down here.
You guys
Yeah, go ahead.
called themselves the infamous Legion or something like that.
Was where did Lex hear that? Because I don't remember.
Weren't we talking to some dude who says ship surrender to the infamous Legion? Or
When was that?
Yes, when the Dreadnought tried to take us.
yeah,
Okay,
yep.
fair enough. So I'm clicking on the screen where the solar system of Halley is. So you guys are heading from Mariposa, which is here, heading to there. So it would probably take you a few hours to get there at maximum warp. But yeah, basically the Warbird is just left you guys. General Larathe considers the fact that because the Valdor class warbird broke off its attack against the transport ship, that whatever you guys beamed back, or more likely whoever you guys beamed back, there was somebody on that transport that ship wanted destroyed or captured. So General Larethe turns to Captain Casal and basically says, is there anything that you can recall from your mission to the transport that was suspicious and kind of would lead you to believe that there was something there or someone there that the Romulans or the rogue Romulans would want?
The only thing that
Would be
seemed
the dog.
suspicious was a extreme amount of violence from a Klingon and 2 other individuals that attacked our unit.
I see. She turns to Colonel Lex and says, what about you? Anything suspicious? Anybody that was with you that they might have wanted to kill or capture?
The doctor. The research was experimental.
You mean Dr. Attell?
Yep. She was held captive by them to do experiments on people.
Okay. I guess my question is options. Obviously, the ship is heading towards the Halley system. We could pursue. We could destroy. We could just follow it, see what it's up to. Or we could board it and find any information. I'm going to go around the table and I want everyone's opinion. At the moment, we are maintaining our distance from it. However, we are trailing it. It did cloak, but we know based on the vector where it's headed. I'll start with Colonel Lex. What is your opinion on the matter? Colonel Lex? Am I disconnected?
No, you're fine.
No.
I hear you.
Okay.
Anyway,
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you're going in and out. Something wrong with your connection.
yeah. He goes, I'll let
Oh goodness gracious!
It's too bad we can't hear you.
Mac, you're
You might-
recording a
That's
little
it.
bit.
I said I was gonna let the 2 Starfleet officers say
Okay, so we'll go to Captain
There.
Casal then. Captain Casal, what is your opinion on the matter? Should we
Mac,
pursue?
you might want to just like disconnect and reconnect. Maybe that might fix it. I think for Captain Casal, he wouldn't really have an opinion on it because he's, in the military and he's just doing his job. If he would say anything, he doesn't know the situation, so he would give this probably over to the people that were on the ship and know the ship and know the stakes that are at hand.
I've got an opinion.
My job is just the protection of Starfleet, pretty much.
All right,
So, yeah.
Lieutenant Commander Shamar.
I say we hit it hard and fast, take out their engines and board it.
Lieutenant Vosky.
The people aboard that ship are likely to have significant physical enhancements that will be very dangerous for a boarding action. I would recommend that we pursue and destroy the ship without boarding, and then carry on to Haley to investigate what is there.
And Gunnery Sergeant Lamb is going to say, if the neuroparasites are involved, their resistance to typical energy weapons as well as their increased strength would provide a very difficult challenge. However, they could also have information that we need. So now,
Admirable predators.
So now, I'm gonna put this up to a player vote. Those are the players that are here. Mac, I just need you to say yes or no. Destroy or board. Destroy meaning yes. if your connection's still bad.
He'll go.
That's better.
We may need more information, so I think it'll be much easier to board it.
Okay, so Mac is for boarding. Casal, I believe, would do whatever as long as he's protecting. Is that right?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah. Although, from hearing what I'm hearing, if I would get a choice, I would say destroy from a player perspective, but from a character perspective, Casal literally has a different, alternative goal.
Right. So it looks like it's split down the middle just based on what I'm hearing. So I'm going to roll for it. I'm going to roll a d20, and under 10 or under is destroy, and above that is board. It's a 15. So we're going to board.
Wait, but we have 5 people.
Yeah, 4. Well, you have NPCs, but I'm not gonna break a tie with an NPC. That's a typical GM mistake to basically force the players into something by an NPC ruling. I'm not.
But I thought we have 5 people. We have Edgelord, we have Dr. Ensign, me, we have Shamar.
I'm not present.
Well, you're not. They're not present.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, like, when I get back to them, if I did the same thing, it would just be between their votes because they're in a different location. You're actually in 2 different galaxies, believe it or not. So, it looks like, if I remember correctly, it was to board. So, we are going to board. However, before we get... Sorry, go ahead.
Since we were, like, kind of in the briefing mode, I'll just, like, to kind of refute the other point, if we beam down a heavily armed and heavily manned security team, I think we've got it. Just be very careful. No one get too close. Take the hyper sprays. Let's do it.
All right.
Vosky will add to that. Since the decision has been made, he'll back it all the way and say, as we are boarding, I suggest that I be given access to any laboratory or even replicator facilities that are here, so as that I may mass produce a chemical I have developed that will help to defeat those who are enhanced by neural parasites. It will only be useful in hand-to-hand combat, but it may be a decisive factor.
So, Vosky, are you staying behind while they board? Is that what you're saying?
But what I'm saying is that Vosky will try to make as many doses as he can before they board, and then hand it out to the boarding team, go with the boarding team, and whoosh.
Do you recall how long it took to make it when you were on Mariposa, or was that a different compound?
It's the same... No, that was the one that allowed you to resist possession. This is the one that knocks them out, which is the one he did way earlier in this campaign.
And it took, how long did it take him? A few minutes?
He improvised that pretty quickly on the station, so or on the prison boat.
Right.
So yeah, just a couple minutes.
All right. So
he rolled like a god.
All right. So go ahead and make a control and science difficulty. Since you've already done it, I'm gonna just say it's difficulty 1. You guys do have. I've written it down from last time. You do have 4 momentum, so this might give you some more momentum. And as long as you do that, then you will basically be able to incapacitate or have enough to incapacitate a good... If there is, let's say, 500 crew members and they're all, taken over by neural parasites, you'll probably have to have some kind of, like, gas in the environmental system. Mm-hmm. But as far as, like, just injecting them, you could probably have enough for a dozen.
Okay. Since we've got... Actually, yeah, okay, I'll just roll it. Actually, yeah, since we've got 4 momentum and this is arguably important, I'll just consume 1 of those, which will also give me the benefit of cautious if I roll a complication, because a complication for this is something I do not want.
Hold on, though. Before we go down this road, how many people are we sending down? How many do we even need? Because all 3 of us already have it. So, I mean...
So,
as far as...
General Larathe's plan is to send all of the PCs minus Vosky, because he's gonna... Well, actually, Vosky, you said you wanted to go, right?
Yeah. The doses
So-
it will be complete by the time we get
And
there.
as a GM,
I'm just talking about NPCs.
Yeah. Oh, well, as far as that, it's gonna be all the Marines, which is like all the people you see on screen minus like 2.
Oh shit! Nice.
Yeah. So
Nice.
so the way I'm gonna do personal combat with NPCs and stuff like that is assume they're fighting in the background, so they're not gonna actually get any rolls. They're fighting, they're killing
exactly.
people are killing them, and the only NPCs that are gonna be rolling is anybody that has any direct connection to you guys. So let's say there's an NPC that's protecting Vosky while he's doing something, then they will roll. But otherwise, just assume everyone in the background is doing their job.
All right, here we
Yeah,
go.
right on.
So that's just what I consumed 1, but I gained 1 back. So it's breaking even, 4 momentum, and yes, we have the doses.
All right. And short of something going horribly wrong, like you guys get swarmed by 50 of these neural parasites or something, you'll basically have enough to knock anyone out that you need to knock out.
Yeah, just so we know for purpose, because I'll start that sentence again. Just so we know in case something goes wrong, and it will go wrong. Who in the boarding team is designated medic?
So there's going to be a medic Marine. However, being an NPC, they're going to have shitty stats, so you might need to assist in that.
Fine. In that case, as well as body armor, type 3 phaser.
I was going to suggest
Volsky
that. Yep. Make sure you wear body armor. In fact, before we forget, everyone open up your character sheets, scroll down to where you see resistance. Make sure it's at 2. Body armor
Yes,
gives
that's body
you
armor, yeah.
Now that's only going to give you resistance to, like, let's say they shoot you with a disruptor at point blank range in your chest. That's what that's for. If they come up behind you with a blade and try to cut your throat, it's a different story. So just keep that in mind. Or if like a bomb goes off. So that resistance is only for basically midsection torso hits. And make sure your character sheets are all, anyone that's in this location, in this setting, make sure you guys do that.
There's a resistance.
So
thing?
we all get armor and we all get type 3 phasers.
We get armor. Shit.
If you're security, you get type 3 phasers. Otherwise,
Hey.
you get your normal. So, do Gorn have a normal resistance of 1?
I mean, from what I read from the adventures and from the thing, Gorn, even phasers, like from pistols, just annoy them.
Yeah.
Which is very funny. It's scary that when you shoot it with a full blast of a phaser, it annoys them.
Because on other equipment where you have all your crazy amount of equipment, it says resistance 1. Go ahead and make that a 3.
Okay.
Because the armor will go plus 2. And it's basically at the very bottom. Like,
the very bottom?
Like if you're scrolling down on your character sheet, it says other equipment. It's on the right-hand
there it
side.
is.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
They put it in the weirdest place.
So, since the designated medic's an NPC who's not great, in addition to the equipment I just mentioned, Vosky will volunteer to have medical equipment issued to him because whilst he doesn't have a focus in it, he does have medicine 4. So if anybody has an appropriate focus or higher medicine, please take Satchel, but otherwise...
The only focus that I have for medicine is physical training and exercise. That is a medicine, but I don't really know if that's narrative-wise. I mean, I have a good medicine, but I don't know if that's good. It's only for that focus in my mind. I don't know if the GM wants to train.
Which focus is it again?
Else. So physical and training and education is not only just training and physical activities, but it's also like if someone's like losing a leg, you use physical training and education to train them to walk again.
Right.
What's your medicine score?
And I know you have to understand the human body and other stuff. Well, it's a 3.
Well, the thing about the disciplines is they're so vague and wide range. You kind of have to take that into account.
Like the one that we can understand the most is escape and avoidance of predator instinct, but the physical training education is kind of hard to...
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to... Unless people object, because it does consume momentum. but at the cost of 2 momentum, I can activate my walking encyclopedia talent, and for the remainder of this session and associated section of the adventure, I just have a focus in medicine. Or a combat medicine. So I
think that's a
now
good
have
idea.
appropriate focus.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's
That is what I will do.
Yep.
Also, in regards to the hypo sprays, assume that everyone at least has one on them, so that it's not just down to one person. It's not just down to Vosky to inoculate a bunch of people. Basically, if you shoot someone and they're stunned enough for you to get up and inoculate them against the neuroparasite, you can do it. So it's not just, it is going to be a medicine roll. And it would only be a security roll if they were actively fighting against you, but I think that's the best way Vosky can help in this situation.
And do we also have or can we get just simple a knockout hypo spray, something to just knock one of them out if we need to?
The medic would have that on her.
Cool.
The Bolian. Yeah. She is. I'm go ahead and give you a name so that we can stop calling them medic. If I can find them.
If you want, I could just slap them and hopefully not kill them.
Yeah.
No, you'll kill them.
Lance Corporal Sita. See ya. Lance Corporal Sita or Seda or Seta, however you want to pronounce it. That is, she's a Bolian. She's going to be your medic. So yeah, basically, and I'm going to go ahead and set up her stats. Because I don't think I did that yet. But
No. If the briefing's over, Lex would definitely go down to the med bay to get his arm checked over because of the injury he received with the burn and that.
Can you remind me of that? Because my memory's terrible.
When we were back on the ship, he ended up getting shot in the arm and burnt as well.
Okay, well, we'll say in the time that it takes. So, if you were injured, just to get rid of all your stress. No one's injured anymore. It's a new scene. We're assuming everyone is going to see the doctor. I'm not gonna spend 45 minutes to an hour and a half healing people. That's something that is assumed in a Star Trek game. So yeah.
And just for a rules clarification, when we reset our stress, because this always confuses me, does that mean we just remove all of it, or do we fill it all in?
So I'm gonna have to look at a character
If you click
sheet.
on the stress name, you can actually get rid of all of it.
Yeah, if you click on the word stress, then it'll all go away.
I just learned this.
Yeah. I'm just do we keep when you say to reset it? Do we keep it at all empty or refill it?
Yeah, it's all empty. Because
Okay.
stress is bad. It's not health.
Yeah, accumulative. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a rules clarification.
All right. So now for you guys on the Dreadnought, a scene has not changed for you. You have been transported somewhere. One of you has been transported somewhere, and you will not lose that stress if you have taken stress. Karava, you are just making your way to sickbay. If you have enough time, this is a big if, then you can, after the scene in the medical bay, you can say that you have used the medical equipment to heal yourself. But for the moment, those of you on the Dreadnought, still, if you've gained stress, lost stress, however you want to say it, if you've taken stress or taken damage, then you still have that damage.
I don't think I've got damaged yet.
Okay, yeah. Y'all have been basically just running around. Like chickens with your heads cut off.
Everybody else got shot but me, basically.
All right, so for the sake of the USS Hellhound, we're going to say that you guys are about to catch up close enough to the Valdor-class warbird. Now, they are cloaked, so this will take a crazy science roll. So I'm guessing that's going to be Vosky. Reason Science difficulty 4 to locate and target a location to actually be able to transport onto.
Fantastic. Given that he has detected numerous cloaked ships relatively recently as well with one of them, will testing a theory and putting a theory into practice still count, or has it been too long and that's reset and I can't use that?
How recent was it? Was it episode 3, or was it last episode? Or the
I don't know which number is it, but it's finding or detecting the dreadnought before it found us. So that was that was a bit ago, I suppose. Yeah.
Also, the dreadnought does not use the same cloaking devices of outdoor class warbird. So yeah.
Fair enough.
No, that won't.
So difficulty 4, you said.
Yep.
Okay, we've got 2 momentum.
And you know what? I'm actually going to spend some threat to increase the complication range to 3 as well.
Okay, complication range 3. I'll consume 1 momentum and 1 threat to roll 4 dice.
Okay.
And that will also give me cautious. And I'm just checking. Yeah, I have
a bunch of threat left over.
I had a bunch of threat left over last time, and then I get 2 more threat per player once the game starts again. So yeah, I do have a bunch. I don't have 30 like I did 2 sessions ago, but I do have enough.
I'm going to use 1. I'm going to re-roll the complication because I used cautious. So,
which means you guys still have 2 momentum, 3 momentum. Nice. So, based on the attacking on emissions, that and it's not like a Defiant class has a great sensor array, but they were basically trailing it the entire time. They didn't let it get out of their sensor lock. So you're basically able to port that over to the transporter pad, and you guys will be able to transport over next scene after we handle some stuff on the Dreadnought to the Valdor class Warbird. Yeah. Alright, so jumping over to the infamous Dreadnought Caesaris Infamy. Medibay, or the Medilab, as I'm going to call it, because it's not really a Medibay, really. You guys come back kind of in the same general vicinity of where you guys had been previously. You got Karava, Cisnus, Norel.
I was wondering, could I do like a...
Micom.
Could I do a kind of I don't know, like intelligence sort of thing where like I determine I want to just like hypothesize what's going to happen when this ship hits a planet. Would it damage the planet severely, or would it just like minimally kind of thing?
It will damage the ship a lot more, if that's what you're asking.
Oh yeah, no, but I mean the plan's to escape the ship, but
right.
If we escape and we try to land on the planet, and the planet's basically like a nightmare land, then you know.
I mean, it's a planet. You can land far enough away to where it's not going to do anything to you. It's just a matter of getting off fast enough.
Yeah. A related question would be: is this ship in like total free fall, or is it a controlled crash landing?
It's all over the place. It's sometimes it looks like they're about to go to warp. Other times it looks like it's going straight towards the planet. They're doing their best with one warp core completely destroyed and the other 2 kind of failing.
The reason why I bring that up is this thing will make the meteorite that wiped out the dinosaurs look small, depending how fast it hits.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just assuming it's crashing. I don't really. Yeah, I'm just focused on trying to get our people out of here.
All right, so you get back to the station. Was Libby Gordon with you guys, or no? Do y'all remember?
I think she was.
Okay, well,
I think she was.
Either way,
yeah, she broke her wrist last time when the ship shook.
Oh right, so yeah, she's there. I don't believe
she was in the prison with us, was she?
No, she was on the Dreadnought. Let's see.
Right. So we enter the medical bay. Is there anybody I know in there?
Let's say Nurse Soren is in one of these little pods. You see that she is being implanted on with a Borg, a simulation gauntlet. You can see. Let's see who else. I'm trying to remember if you had one of those engineers. Did you have Adriel with you? I don't think so. And we'll say Adriel is there too. But other than that, you don't see anyone else.
Okay, I'll fiddle with stuff to get him out of the tubes.
All right, so this is going to be a control and engineering, difficulty 3, and I'm increasing the complication range to 3 as well.
I will use some. I will use some. Is it wait control engineering?
Yep.
I will use some what's it called? Momentum. If we have any, I'll use 2 if possible.
Yep.
And I will ask one of the engineers here to assist me in freeing our captured friends.
All right. Let's see. Who's an engineer? I believe Norell is
friends,
science. Cisnus, I think, is con. McCom is security. That leaves. I'll say Libby Gordon can roll using science.
And the only thing is, Norel has a focus in Borg technology that might be useful.
What's
But
what's her control in science?
Control's 11, science is 4.
Okay, so Libby's the control is 10, so you should definitely roll to assist.
Okay.
But you're not there.
I'm rolling a complication of 2.
Yeah, this is Norel, not Megara.
Ah.
Complication range 3, difficulty 3.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm rolling 4 dice.
Alright.
So I'm just saying, yep, and
1 knob. Ooh, nice.
Ah.
Let's wait for the assist. There you go. So the difficulty was 3, so you have plus 4 momentum, so you're at 5 momentum. Do you want to get rid of that? Oh, and by the way, I meant to tell you this like 4 sessions ago. I keep forgetting. So if you want to, and I'm making this optional, you can either spend 2 momentum to get rid of the complication, or you can spend 1 momentum to re-roll it with an increased complication range. So you don't know if it's going to be a complication again or if it's not, but you spend less momentum. So it's up to you which one you want to do.
I will do the gambling.
All right.
And so I will roll
one
dice.
1 dice, but increase the complication range to 5.
Yep.
All right, you got another, so you're back up to 5 momentum. Yep,
just the magic touch.
Adriel and Soren is out. Once she kind of falls out of this tube and all the liquid that's in it spills out, she like wrenches her hand from this gauntlet that's been placed on her by some kind of robot, and she kind of just stretches out her fingers and says, "Oh, that's better, thank you."
Okay. I will ask the Borg specialist. Can we remove that part from her just in case it does weird Borg stuff?
Well, the part itself is already removed. You don't know if she has
Oh.
Borg nanites in her, though.
Oh,
If she does, you probably do, because you were in the same kind of tube when you woke up.
Oh, okay. I'll just ask her. Wait, how do you feel about assimilation?
She's like, she gives you a look, like tilts her head, and she's like, "Are you kidding? Let's get out of here."
Okay.
So this is
Simulation.
This is an announcement heard throughout the entire ship, including by Engstrom. It's a voice that you've heard before. All hands, abandon ship. This is Head Execution Officer Adrenum to all servants and soldiers of the infamous Armada. Abandon the Cesaris infamy. I repeat, all hands, abandon ship. So what does Karava do? Or what does Karava want to do?
I'm going to agree with this guy, and I don't think there's any more of our people on board this ship. So
well, there's no way to know. It's a
book
huge ship, but considering
huge
everything going on, it's probably best to just try to get away.
When it crashes, I'll come back down and we'll fly down and we'll have a look around.
Okay.
Make sure any of our people are still here.
So you're looking for a transporter room or a shuttle bay? What are you specifically looking for to get away?
Did I see our ship? What happened to my ship? Do I know? Did I see it in that bay?
In that bay, no. More than likely, it's in another whole other hangar bay.
Oh my god! All right. I'll ask the admiral. Where did they park our ship? I thought the admiral was with us.
Which admiral? That's a general. But sure.
Oh, tell she our general. I mean.
So
I'll ask her.
Which ship are you asking for? Because she has her own ship. She's not going to know where your ship is.
Oh, I'll ask her. Where's your ship, Admiral?
Hangar Bay 703. It's on the other side of the ship. The other side.
Could we teleport there? Could we teleport there? You think?
maybe, but we've got to quickly find a transporter room.
Okay.
So you guys go off looking for a transporter room, I assume.
Yep. We're on our way to find a transporter.
Cool. So, Engstrom, you find yourself outside of an engineering room. Similar to Romulan warbirds, this ship uses a quantum singularity core drive and on the door you see in several languages, one's Romulan, one's English, it says warp core room number 2, and then it says alternate dimensional jump drive room. But you are right outside of engineering. It's a large room, but around the perimeter there are some windows in which you can clearly see several engineers. And for the sake of simplicity, the ones on the top are engineers, but the ones on the bottom are guards. Originally, like, you see dozens of people fleeing from the engine room just through the windows. And some people even come out the door that you're standing near. They see you, they just keep going. They don't care. They're trying to escape. They're trying to survive. So what is Dr. Engstrom going to do?
Oslar. Like, she's looking around trying to see if Oslar beamed in with her first off.
Well, he did, but not in the way she thinks.
Yeah, because I think then she'll kind of catch, wait, what happened to my hand? Anyway. Side note, does she happen to have his disruptor pistol, or did she not get beamed in with that?
No.
Okay, so she's back to normal, as far as that goes. Okay, well, there's a bunch of people running, and she heard the announcement. I'm assuming that the ship was going down, so she's not going to stick around. She's going to follow these people at least to see where they're heading. But I don't know, she might try and distance herself away at least in case, I don't know. Some of them might be armed. The guards are probably armed, so.
So as you, is Engstrom looking, is she just following these people, or is she looking for something specific?
Well, she's feeling better than the last time we saw her, physically anyway. Actually, I guess there's also the whole thing with the mother creature that they mentioned in an earlier announcement, trying to bring the mother creature somewhere. So if she sees like a medical lab, she might just look in and see if the mother creature might be there, then she could destroy it. But
it's highly unlikely that she'll find a medical lab anywhere near there. Even more unlikely that she would find the mother creature.
I mean, unfortunately, Commander Locke didn't really tell her why he was beaming her before he was gone. So she's like, why am I here? This is not I can't do this. I'm a doctor, not an engineer.
Well, as she's kind of turning around from the engine room to make her choice as to where she's headed, you do overhear one of the engineers that's running out of the engineering room say, it looks like they got the dimensional jump coordinates set for universe ST2096. They're going to try to jump the ship out into that universe. And he's just saying it to some random other engineer as they flee, leaving like probably half a dozen people still in there. But yeah, as you're kind of fleeing, looking for either a medilab or a transporter, or you're basically kind of following all these people that are fleeing. They're going in multiple different directions. None of them seem to be going in any specific location.
Okay, actually, is there like any place where she can find a layout of the ship? Probably what she'll realize after a few meters of running.
Yeah, I mean, she would see like computer terminals everywhere, but whether or not she knows how to activate them are a different story. They are in Romulan, so.
Well, I mean, she's been aboard a Romulan cruiser for a little bit, so what does she have to lose?
All right, go ahead and make I'll say Insight Engineering difficulty 1.
Okay, and I would like to use my Did the Reading talent, where I can spend a momentum, and then I can swap out that engineering for my science.
Okay.
Okay, and then you said difficulty was
1.
Sorry, what did you say difficulty was?
Difficulty 1.
Okay.
All right. You guys are up to 5 momentum. and you find the layout of the ship. Where you are seems to be a engineering and maintenance deck. Basically, the entire deck is dedicated to transport of the ship. There are a few transporter pads, throughout the corridor, but they're not like a transporter room where you can beam 6 people. You also find a few escape pod hatches. However, most of them are going to be ejected once you reach them. So yeah, where are you headed? You can find one of these kind of miniature, like one person transporter pad, which are basically used to transport around the ship, or you can look for an unused escape pod.
Okay, so most people are heading for the escape pods, but there's still the hangar bay. I'm sorry, I can't remember if you said that she saw that or not.
You find a hangar bay, but it's like, it's at a jog, it's probably like 15-20 minutes away.
Okay, and that wouldn't be enough time to run there, so she'd have to transport herself over there. If she could find a transporter. Trust herself to actually use it correctly.
Alright. Go ahead and make a... As you're running down the corridor, you do find a transporter pad in an alcove. However, 3 people are arguing over who's going to use it. But you have been running probably for like 5 minutes now, and this is the first one you've seen. It's up to you if you want to risk it and try to convince them to let you go, or if you want to run another 5 minutes for the next one.
And are these people injured at all, or?
Well, the Klingon with the parasite in his neck is not at all injured. The Gorn that doesn't have a parasite in his neck is got a burn on his his arm is almost completely burned with plasma burns, and the Andorian that you saw earlier running out mentioning the jump drive is uninjured, but he seems to be the most frantic trying to get onto the pad while the others trying to restrain him.
And then, wait, I guess I'm a little confused on why it's a big deal that they're all trying to use this transporter pad. Wouldn't I just be able to wait until they're done? Or...
Yeah, I mean, you could, but they're arguing over it. None of them are going to leave anytime soon as they're fighting over this pad.
Okay. She'll keep going.
Just dip.
All right. So you managed to get to another one. I was going to have you make a presence roll, but since you're just going to go for the another one, I'm going to need you to make a fitness and security roll as the ship begins to rock and begins to make it another dive towards the planet, as they have now failed to keep the impulse engines running.
Okay, fitness and security. Well, halfway there.
You stumble as the ship kind of rocks, and you feel hands grabbing at the back of your neck and arms.
I'm probably going to try and fight off whatever's touching me.
As you spin around to fight off whoever is touching you, you find Lieutenant Eric Sellers grabbing you. He says, Doctor, come on. It's me. He kind of tries to show you the back of his neck to where you could see he's not infested.
Okay. Okay, I'll go with this. Technically, you killed him a couple sessions ago.
I
okay.
believe I beamed him off the ship.
Yeah, he was beamed off.
No, but it doesn't really matter. I can show you the video evidence later. But for now, back in game, we'll go with it.
Well, if that's the case, let me find someone else then. I'd rather do that. I'm not a fan of retcons.
Okay. I've been keeping track, pretty much everybody that was around me. The only person who's still alive is Nurse Soren, but she's already accounted for.
Right.
So
when you just do a retcon, you just go wait, hold on, let me rewind that. Like you're watching an episode. What was that?
So Centurion Drusilla picks you up and grabs you, and she doesn't I mean, you guys didn't meet. I think you guys met for like a few minutes on
Yeah.
the starbase, but she doesn't know you that well. She just knows you're a Starfleet officer trying to escape. So she grabs you, says, "Come on," and she gestures down another corridor. However, when you see her neck, she does have a neuroparasite. She's trying to get you to go down some dark alleyway, basically.
Nice. Look what you did. Look what you did, Angstrom. Look what you turned this scene into.
And I still don't have a tricorder to even check in, like, because Commander Locke was able to show that he wasn't actually being controlled, but there's no way I can scan her. I don't think I've got a value I could actually use to try and get a success out of this, but I just don't know if I don't think I have a tricorder on me to even try.
No, but you could just do an insight medicine check. You would know about Libby Gordon's kind of compound that basically prevents, people from being infested. So you would, the idea of it would at least be in your head. So
Okay.
Insight medicine difficulty 2.
Okay. I would like to use a value, determination.
Okay.
The patient is the best resource to make a diagnosis.
Sure.
I'd like to try that. So, use one of those.
All right. Yeah, she is basically terrified, which is something that a neuroparasite would not be. So she's kind of like, you could tell that her strength is still the strength of a neuroparasite, like way more than a human. But like the fear in her, the real fear in her eyes is hard to kind of fake. And she's like pointing. She's like, "There's another transporter pad. It's down by a cargo bay. I can get you there in a couple of minutes. Come on."
Okay.
All right.
And she'll follow.
All right. We're going to jump back to the bridge of the Hellhound. Actually, we're going to jump to the space battle that's about to happen. But I will be right back. I have to use the restroom. Be right back.
I love it. Was a nice, friendly scene and shit. And you're like, "Oh, look, it's a friend trying to help me." And then you're like, "Oh no, he's dead." And you're like, "All right, fuck you then. You get a shitty scene."
You just grab them, hug them, and then just toss them aside and just begin running.
No, I wasn't. I was not the one who killed him. It was that was his decision to go tell Dr. Engstrom I'm sorry, and he flings himself off of a catwalk or something. That was not my decision. That was his. Which is why I said nothing when I saw that Nurse Soren was still alive. So I was like, if I say anything, she's gonna die.
I did not
I need
kill
one
that
person
Romulan.
It's so, I don't know. I've fucking DM'd all my life. It's still so weird transitioning to try and play. Like, it's like information that like gets thrown at me and it just doesn't stick the way that
I know the feel, bro. I know the feel.
I'm like, wait, what the fuck happened?
Yeah, the fact that like I'm in here and I'm role playing, I'm like, oh shit, this is crazy.
I feel like when I'm like actor role playing, I can do that shit all day. But like fucking when I'm like trying to remember actual like concrete things that are happening, it's like, it's kind of, it's
Really?
different. Yeah.
Huh.
I don't know. It's when you're DMing, you know everything, so it's real easy to just like snap and explain something to somebody. But like when I'm playing, it's so different, and I have to like really like laser focus on some things.
Huh.
Wait,
I
what's
guess different
happening?
folks, different strokes. Oh, we're just shooting the shit, just talking.
Maybe that's
Wait,
also
what's
because
hap-
Star Trek is also just like fucking.
I totally forgot my
D&D to an extent.
I totally forgot my picture, and I was like, what is that disgusting creature? And I'm like, oh, that's me.
The picture before that was very questionable.
Which one? You mean the neckbeard,
Kim
like
Jong-
holding like the
no,
dog?
like Kim Jong-un, but he had
Oh.
fucking yeah, he had like a rapper
Oh,
hair.
are you talking about Casal's true form?
There it is. Yeah, that's a.
All my friends are dead.
picture.
Push me to the edge.
Alright, the DM is back. Let's get into this
Okay.
fucking space battle before I kill myself.
All right.
All right. So
How'd you change it back so fast?
Captain, begin drift drive. Just see him start drifting in space.
the ship approaches. The Valdor is going to attempt to outmaneuver you because they're like, why are they able to detect us? But eventually, you guys, being the faster ship, catch up to them and are able to transport over. Who would like to make the transport roll to make it a bit more interesting? Who's good at engineering?
Who's better than 4? Oh, you got a transporter chief here.
Yeah, aren't you the transporter chief?
Yeah.
Alright,
It's
so
like,
let's
That's
do.
scary when the transporter chief is like, "Yo, who's doing this?"
Who's the
It's like,
transporter chief?
It's like, sir, I don't wanna budge, but
Alright,
yeah,
so
I'm gonna take that.
because you have to transport over, like you have the coordinates, but it is still a cloaked ship, so you're gonna be rolling insight and engineering instead of control. And the difficulty
Okay.
is still gonna be 3 because you're not gonna be able to transport onto a transporter pad. And you're at
I'm
warp.
gonna be using 2 momentum.
Okay.
Oh my god, every episode.
Wait, what's the control engineering for?
I accidentally rolled controlled engineering.
Well, roll insight. And I thought you said you were using 2 momentum. I don't see 2 momentum there. Oh yeah, I'm gonna increase the complication range to 3 as well because why not? Did someone disappear? I guess it was Guy. Anyway, are you rolling, Mac? Are you there? What the hell is going on? Alright, I've got to figure out a bunch of technical difficulties that just happened at the same time. My internet died, and now all I hear is buzzing in my ear. Can anyone else hear that?
Nope.
Nope.
You're not buzzing.
RDM is gone? Now he's back?
Yeah, I'm trying to get my shit to work. I'm not gonna. I guess I'm not gonna use the camera, which is fine. I was leaning towards not using the actual ship figures anyway, just because it's a hassle to deal with the camera. Let's see. There we go. All right. So what'd you roll, Mac?
3, because I re-rolled that red one.
All right.
Use 1 momentum. I did
Alright.
say that.
That's fine. I wasn't here, so it's fine. So you are able to beam over. I'm gonna look for a. Is there a specific place on the ship that you guys want to be, or just some random corridor, cargo bay, a bridge? Where do you guys want to beam to?
Well, we want
Kind
to
of like a cargo bay or bridge.
Yeah. The bridge would be one of the two, or somewhere near the bridge would be one or two locations. Because we need to get this thing to stop moving. Because we don't want it to get closer to its reinforcements.
Can also do
either
engineering.
bridge. Yeah, I was about to
Also,
say,
we
it's-
are anywhere with just a control panel because apparently we are team force fields, so we need to hold up that. We need to hold
Basically,
up
so either bridge or engineering will be the best places to stop the
that. Yeah.
ship.
Yeah.
Well,
Taking over engineering is already, that's going to be great. I think that's a good idea.
okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Would
so
Colonel
let's see.
Lex know if these kinds of ships? No, admittedly, this might be a slightly experimental one as well. But if in standard Romulan design philosophy, there's extra traps and tricks and precautions that stop like direct beams to those locations, or is that not something that Lex is aware of?
While they're at warp cloak, they can do little else. Basically, they would have to stop, come out of cloak, because their energy is basically, trying to keep you from knowing where they are. So they're
Excellent.
not going to be able. Once you've figured out a target location, it's going to be too slow for them to actually do anything about it.
Fantastic.
All right. So also, Kriebel, do you want your Riemann bodyguard Starks to go with Colonel Lex or no?
Yeah, let's go ahead and say he came along.
All right. And
unless Colonel Lex was like, don't.
And by the way, I did
He
forget.
says yes.
I did forget that
Come along.
Healer Nari is also there. So, Guy, do you want to play Healer Nari, or do y'all want to stick with the NPC?
I'll be good. I'll be good. I would prefer not to.
All right. So, you guys transferred in with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 people. And we'll say you're right outside engineering. However, you after you enter, after you beam in, you can tell based on just the consoles and the general vibe that the ship has come out of warp and the cloak has deactivated. And then you feel shudders as the Hellhound begins space combat with the Javaran. So this is going to be, because we're going to have players versus NPCs soon, we're going to have to start basically turn rounds. So who wants to go first? Does Colonel Lex have any specific orders that he would like to give to his away team?
He would suggest that the security go first.
All right, so I'm going to say that your action is going to be the direct, which basically means you can assist with a presence and command to whoever. Do you want the Marines to try to get into engineering first, or do you want your chief of security to try to get into engineering first?
He looks at the engineer, chief of security. Do you want to go first, or I can let them?
He nods his head with a smile and says, "Always," and says, "Hey, big guy, you want to come?" Looks to the Gorn. Did some pretty impressive shit last time.
I'm just doing my part.
Nope.
Well, then continue to do your part, and I'll order him over.
Sweep the room!
Right.
Let's do it. Me and him.
So, for the sake, because it's an RPG, let me get Shamar to roll a control and security, assuming you're going in with your phaser rifle. And
oh yeah, always.
What's his name? Colonel Lex, roll an assist with presence and command. And yeah, if you're playing a support character in this instance, their health would have been healed in sick bay before they went. So everyone should be at full health at this moment. There's just nowhere for you guys to heal on a transport, leaving a planet that you weren't supposed to be on. All right, waiting for Shamar.
And it was a control security roll, right? And it was what was the task roll?
Well, the task roll is however many dice you want to roll. The difficulty is 2. You've already got 1 success from your commanding officer who gave you the order, so you just need 1 more success.
And to add to the task roll, that's like spending momentum, right?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Then I'll just do the normal.
You got to roll 2 though. Roll 1 more.
Wait, so it would be task roll 2?
Yeah, it's always task roll 2 unless you're assisting.
Okay, yeah. That's what I thought.
I'm gonna take. Yeah, I'm gonna take. I'm gonna say that's a 3. I'm gonna take the first one you rolled and then the first one on the second roll and say that you rolled 3 plus Lex's is 4. So you guys get 2 more momentum, and the door opens. The first Romulan you see, you fire. So go ahead and roll your damage.
And also, since this is a Type 3 phaser, is anything different?
It has the accurate quality, which basically means you can re-roll 1d20 after you roll, which I don't think you need to at this point. You've got so many successes.
Yeah.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 plus 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm gonna say that's a stun, just because that's number one. It's so many freaking successes, but also the effects would stun him. So the first guy you see is a guard. He spins around, but you take him unawares and he goes down. And now I will show you basically what you see. And I don't think I have an engineering picture of a Romulan ship on this Roll20, so just pretend this is engineering. So yeah, he's down. You see 3 Romulan, basically ensigns, a Romulan lieutenant, and another Romulan guard in engineering. Alright, so now it's the enemy's turn, and in case you forgot, or in case I didn't mention it last time, the way combat works is the good guys go, then the bad guys go, then the good guys go, and then that's pretty much it. There is no actual initiative. So then once one of these guys goes, it'll be Kasal's turn to go. I'm going to say the lieutenant is basically going to assist by directing his guard to open fire. And I'm actually going to roll on my actual dice because I set this up for that reason. Ooh, two critical successes. One with a 1 and a 2 with a focus of. Wait, let me make sure that it actually has a focus before I say that. I'm pretty sure he does. He's a. Yep, disruptors is a focus. So that's 2, 4, and the 14 is not a success. So he's got 4 successes. He's probably going to hit the first guy that came in the room, which is either going to be the Gorn or the Cardassian. I'm going to roll a dice. Low is Cardassian, high is Gorn, and it's the Gorn. So yeah, he fires at the
someone
Gorn.
bigger than me. Someone more intimidating.
Exactly. So now he's going to roll his damage dice. I'm actually going to roll that on the screen, since I think I have it on this character sheet. Yes, I do. He has his rifle, which has accurate. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and vicious 1. So that's 5, 6, 7. And then I'll just roll another, do the accurate, and roll 1 dice outside, which is another effect.
Like, well, I do hate Cardassians. But
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's a total of 9 damage on the Gorn. So that's an injury.
God.
Actually, it'll be 6.
Is that -2 because of armor?
Minus 3
3.
because armor and gone.
Oh, 3.
Yeah, so 6. Stress.
Alright, so I get 6 stress.
Did you forget about the vicious, Mac?
Yep. Actually, 6 stress because of the resistance.
Oh yeah,
He's
you're
wearing
right.
the armor.
See, that's why y'all got to remember you have armor on.
Yeah.
You only take 6. Now that's still a injury. So here's what you can do for an injury. You can do one of a couple of things. You can either, and this doesn't get rid of your stress, but it will make it so you can, move around and do things. Because injuries make it so that you're incapacitated. So you can either spend 2 momentum, or you can use your determination to just kind of shrug off the injury and keep fighting. If you do one, you can. If you spend the 2 momentum, you can only do that once. If you use your determination, you can only do that once. So really, you can only get rid of injuries twice max. So, do you want to do one of those?
I think for this occasion, it might be good if I use a. I think we all share momentum, right?
Yeah, but you do have quite a bit of momentum, and once you use your determination, you can't use it for the rest of the game. So
yeah, I think before I had 3, but I think we're all sharing it, so I don't think it matters. So I mean, it really depends on what you guys want.
You can use the 2 momentum.
Okay.
Yeah.
This looks like it's gonna be a big fight, so go for it.
I'll use the 2 momentum.
All right. So you're down to 3, and you still took all that stress, but you're still up. Basically, the disruptor beam hit you in the shoulder. It kind of put you back against the wall a bit, but you kind of struggle through the burn, the pain, and are ready to keep fighting. So what does he do next?
Oh man, I really wish I could have. Would deliberate strike count beforehand?
What is that?
Like, Gorn are patient and deliberate in their actions. Whenever you use the ready task to ready an attack, you may reroll 1d20. If I remember correctly, we were in the other room waiting before we go in.
Use the ready task to ready an attack. Yeah, sure. We could say that was what you were doing when you. But it says ready task. So that's the thing is
I don't know what that
task-
means because I'm still
so-
new to this.
So if for D&D terms, you have your minor actions and in your standard actions. A task is basically your standard action. So readying would basically just means you're sitting there waiting for something to happen, and you wouldn't be able to do anything
Yes.
else.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So basically, if you were waiting in the corridor for someone to come out the engineering, then that would make more sense there.
I guess if that's the case, I'm still trying to understand if there's like move or action, but if there is some form of cover, even for me, I would like to try to find it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fine.
I don't mind him doing that if that's what he wants to do. I'll just kick down the door.
Well, you guys are already at the door. The door's open. You guys are fighting. So if you go, you open up cheat sheets at the top there, it's gonna have a list of minor actions and a list of combat tasks. So if for example, what you want to do is,
here it is.
Where is it? There's an action called guard. Gain a defensible position.
Yep. Yeah. What
So
does that do?
That's gonna basically make it difficult for them to hit you. It'll still be a task, so you'd still have to roll, I believe, control security, to basically get behind cover, and that will basically increase the difficulty for them to hit you. Effectively, they would stop trying to hit you and try to hit the person that's not behind cover.
Okay. Well, since I'm a Marine, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hit cover,
All right,
regardless of how big I am.
So roll control and security. Let's see if you can find a good bulkhead to get behind.
And then what do I... hold on, I'm trying to remember this. I think I have them both checked. How do I roll
What do you mean?
again? I have...
So to your right, where it says task roll, just click on 2, and then click on the comm badge, unless you want to spend momentum for it. But the difficulty's only 1, so it's not like it's the most difficult thing.
all right, and then I click the task roll thing, right?
Yep, the comm badge.
Like the icon.
Mm-hmm.
Like that.
Ooh, but you do have a complication. So what you could do is you can spend 2 momentum to get rid of it, or a house rule that I have is you could spend 1 momentum and then re-roll it, but with an increased complication range. So it's...
You know what? I mean, I think like what the complication just makes it worse, right, for me.
So your complication was 3, or no, your complication was 1, sorry. So it would increase it to 3. So instead of only rolling a 20 and getting a complication, you could roll a 17 or an 18, 19, and 20 and get a complication. But it's still better than having a complication right now. So it's up to you how you want to do that.
Okay, I guess I'll do that. I guess.
All right. So just roll 1d20, and so a task roll of 1 instead of 2, and then. All right. So you're 8. So yeah, basically you have 2 successes, and that gives you back up to 3 momentum, and you're behind a bulkhead, and you're basically taking aim, ready to fire, and they were probably not going to attack you until the Cardassian goes down.
Okay.
So now it's their turn. The guard has already went, so the ensign or the engineer is basically going to draw his disruptor pistol, which is going to be half an action or a minor action and fire. So he's not going to be able to aim, and he's aiming at the Cardassian, who's right there. And he almost got a critical failure. So he basically fires, and it just. I know what happened. He tried to decide who to hit, the Cardassian or the Gorn, and at the last second he moved the disruptor over towards the Gorn and hit the bulkhead instead of the Cardassian.
He wasn't ready to see that Gorn move so fast.
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
Shamar's like, oh, I spoke too soon.
All right, so now it is you guys' turn. Both of you have went, and Lex has gone. So that's going to be Vosky or Starks. And I don't think there's any other player characters. So which one of you wants to go next?
I've got something in mind, but it's not particularly time sensitive, so and it's not going to be hurting anyone. So if Starks wants to do something that is more immediately useful or will hurt the enemy, then by all means go first.
Okay, Starks is going to try and shoot one of the Romulans.
All right. Do you want to take a minor action?
I don't think I really need to.
Well, if you declare you're taking the aim minor action, it lets you re-roll a single d20 if you
Okay,
don't-
yeah, actually that's right. My control's pretty bad, so I'm gonna need that.
Okay. Control and security, and the difficulty is 2 to hit.
All right.
Nice. You hit the engineer, unless you're aiming for the lieutenant. And then roll.
No, the engineer.
Okay. Roll your damage dice.
Engineer. All right, and I was using a disruptor rifle, just FYI.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Well, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you have vicious 1, so each effect is an additional damage. So that's 7, 8. So yeah, basically he goes down, stunned, or probably dead because it's a disruptor rifle, but he's definitely out of the fight. Now it's their turn. The lieutenant is going to draw his weapon, which is also a minor action, so he can't aim. I'm going to roll. He only got 1 success, so he misses the Cardassian. Vosky, it's your go.
Okay. Well, Vosky has witnessed our Gorn friend take a rather savage blow, and he's dealing with it like a champ, but nonetheless, ow. So Vosky is going to, as the move section, dash over into the Gorn's cover, and he will then attempt to provide medical assistance to lessen that blow.
Okay.
Now, I believe, is that going to be control medicine?
In this case, because you're like literally in the middle of combat, it's daring medicine.
Daring medicine. That's not so great.
You will also get an assist from Lance Corporal Seda.
Okay. We have 2 momentum, I believe. Yes. And it's successes equal stress healed, isn't it?
I think so. So like the normal success would be 1. So yeah, you can also spend momentum to increase. So let's say you only get 1 success, you can spend momentum for each 1 momentum spend is, I believe, 1 stress gained or taken away.
Fantastic. Well, in that case, I'll just roll the normal and we'll see where we go. Focus, applies because of my talent, and
Seda did not. Oh.
Do nothing.
At least
there is good-natured fumbling.
Yeah, at least he didn't make a complication.
I don't understand what's going on, but I guess I don't understand what's going on. But this is the one time I can ask this. Edge, can I ask a question?
Of course.
Are you a penis?
Yeah, he
I
kind
mentioned
of.
this too.
Right.
I mentioned this too.
I'm actually curious because you look interesting. I just want to know. Because I can't stop thinking about it. Please tell me you're something else.
So for a few seconds there, I went, "Oh, he doesn't mean me. He means Vosky."
Yeah,
your character.
So Vosky is a Zaranite, and I didn't see the whole penis head thing until someone else pointed it out, and now I can't unsee it. But that is
Zaranite. Ah, yes. Okay, now I can unsee the. Well, no, the penis is still there. But yes,
How do you spell that? I need to unsee this as well because I've never been able to unsee it.
It does soothe the mind medical wise. It's a Zaranite. Yeah.
Zaranite Star Trek.
I dig it.
When the fuck did these guys appear? I do not remember this at all.
Picture.
You know.
it is.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
I just imagine your character sounds like this.
You know, all the time that I've been playing with you, Vosky, I've been seeing that.
Just never said
Vosky's
anything.
always got some crazy idea too. It's great.
He played an Aurelian in the previous game with just a bird flying around calling out targets for people to hit.
So anyway, please describe the bleach he sprays into my scales.
Yeah, injects you with the wrong hypo spray. You start getting tired.
No, that would be if it was a complication. He just failed, so basically he just like. Yeah, Vosky, why does he fail? Tell us why.
So he goes over there. He's not meant to be a medic. This is very much his secondary thing. So he's double checking things, and so he dashes over, kneels down into the cover next to the gun, opens up the little medical satchel, and because he's got some, as I said, hesitancy because this isn't his primary specialty, he spends a bit too long like double checking what he's doing is right. So it doesn't get done in this initiative.
Okay. So basically on your next turn, you'll try again.
Yeah. Assuming the situation remains roughly the same, yeah.
All right. So that's everybody as far as player characters go. So now let's see. The lieutenant, I believe, went. So another technician is going to go, and he is going to fail. These guys just cannot shoot. So that goes back to the top of the order. Colonel Lex, do you want to direct again, or do you have something specific in mind that you want to do?
He brings out his phaser and shoots this one. Better yet, he'll try and shoot the lieutenant.
All right. So drawing your phaser. Actually, I should say, since you guys are literally a boarding party, you guys had your weapons out already. So go ahead and just take aim and fire. Unless there's another minor action that you want to do besides aim. But you're going to pretty much have to aim because he's so far away. Nice. So you succeed, plus you get a momentum, and then roll the damage. People call him dickhead just in his comment on his appearance. Wow, that's a.
I don't think any of us have ever actually explicitly said it. It's just been like player comments, though.
Yeah, it's purely out of character comment. Yeah.
My goal is just confused. It's just like, you don't look like my dick.
Yeah. So you basically, as soon as you hit the lieutenant, the two technicians just look at each other and flee through the back door out of engineering.
Damn, I was gonna say we should have wide beam shot these guys. I completely blanked on it.
Did you guys get this other guard, or is even?
I mean, there are other Marines.
He's been chilling.
All right, so they still run, but then the guard like decks them for cowardice. Just let me. Yeah, like as they
guy.
Wow. So as they run past, he like takes the butt of his rifle and slams it into the back of one of their head, and he doesn't die or get knocked unconscious, but he goes down bleeding green blood. The other one makes it out. So I'm gonna say that's his action because he's a badass like that, and he's just gonna walk towards you guys. So if you want to go ahead, Kasal or Shamar, or either one of you. I'm guessing Gasol since you didn't get to shoot yet, but it's up to y'all.
I'll do it if no one else wants to, but
I mean, I would like to shoot.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Go.
Control security difficulty is 2.
Okay. Anyway, yes. So it's security and what is it gonna be?
And control security and control difficulty 2.
Difficulty 2.
Yep.
Okay.
Y'all have 3 momentum.
Okay. And let's see. I didn't do the ready action yet. All right. I guess I'll just roll. All right.
Nice.
How's that?
So you guys get another momentum, and you hit the guard because he's the only one left. Square in the chest. Roll damage. Although I'm pretty sure
it's on the flick of the wrist.
Pretty sure whatever damage you roll, he's going down.
Yeah, but let's find out. I will say, are these parasites or are these
As far as you can tell,
have we been told to stun or kill? Because whatever they tell me, I'm gonna do it.
Well, the standard procedure is stun.
Okay.
So like if you had tried to stun them and then it turned out they were parasites, you would switch to kill. But as far as you knew,
yeah. Well, I have spray, so I mean, yeah. Like you gave me that. Remember that spray that has 5 doses?
No, I mean if it's the thing that Gavosky made, that's in a hypo spray. But I let's see, 2, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so 7, basically 7 with an accurate. Do you want to, since you have a rifle, do you want to re-roll another d20 to see if you can get some more? Not d20, sorry, damage dice. See if you can get some more damage in.
You know what? For the sake of play and also for funny, yeah, I'll do that. I'll just roll a d20.
A d6.
Oh, d6.
Yeah, it's re-rolling damage. So, unfortunately, a 3 is nothing, but it's, at least you. So yeah, you hit him. He goes down. He's not unconscious, but he is like dazed, and he's dropped his weapon, and he's on the ground. So that's pretty much it for the engineering battle. Does anybody want to do anything since now you have control of engineering? I'm assuming the engineers are going to get to work on like stopping the ship and stuff like that. But does anyone else want to do anything?
Saul is going to kind of point in a direction and start moving, telling the Marines to start taking people's guns. and he'll just hold the position, like any position that's like, like where they were running to. He's gonna aim his rifle in that direction, probably find cover.
All right.
Secure the engineering in case they come down the hallway.
All right, and Lex, you are who's going to assist Lex in deactivating basically power? Or let me ask you, Lex, what are you trying to deactivate? Because they've come out of warp to do battle with the Hellhound at this point. Like, you guys have been feeling the ship rumble the whole time you guys have been fighting. So what exactly are you going to turn off or depower? Are you going to making it so they can't go to warp again, or are you going to try to do something else?
I'm going to shut down the whole entire systems and lock it down to engineering.
Ooh, that's going to be difficult. Basically rerouting all command codes to engineering. That's going to be really difficult. You can give it a try if you want to, but it's going to be a 5 and 5. 5 complication and 5 difficulty. This is not this isn't the Dicarius. You could do that on the Dicarius because it was your ship. This is not the Dicarius.
Yeah, we don't even have command codes, so.
Can I?
So, as an engineer, you would know that the easiest thing to do would be just to deactivate the warp core from where you are, because the lieutenant that was in there was the chief engineer. Without him being able to override you, that's relatively easy compared to what the other thing.
Yep, I'm deactivating that.
Okay, so that would substantially weaken the ship in general as far as just power, but it won't stop their weapons and it won't stop their impulse drive. Those are on fusion reactors, but it will severely weaken them to the point where the Hellhound will pretty much be able to take them out. So that'll be a control and engineering. Difficulty is 2, and if someone wants to assist, they can. I am going to increase the complication range to 3.
And I am going to get a dice with momentum.
Okay. Anyone want to assist? Anyone with some good engineering? Or decent engineering?
I can, but if Lex wants Vosky to, I put that entirely in Lex's hands.
Yeah.
All right. And it was. Did you say complication range 1?
3.
3. Okay, cool.
And let's wait for his roll before we deal with that complication. All right. So, do you have 2 momentum? Do you want to just use those 2 momentum to get rid of the complication?
Yep.
All right. So you're still at 3 momentum. Yep, you managed to basically turn off the warp core. They can no longer go to warp. As far as your the sensors are concerned, based on just like the propulsion and the direction they're headed, it looks like they would have been in the Mariposa solar system in probably 20 minutes or so. So you basically, or not Mariposa, the Halley system in about 20 minutes. So you managed to stop them from doing that. Is there anything else anyone wants to do in engineering, since you have it? Alright, if not, we are going to jump back to the Dreadnought.
Can we, since going back to the force field idea, can we put force fields up around engineering? Is that something that'd be smart to do?
You can try, sure.
I'm more asking that to the party. I'm like, do you think it'd be a good idea to lock security down, or do you think we should leave it open and just prepare for whoever comes down?
I will also say, as another reminder, since this is not your ship, it will be as easy as it is for you to put up force fields. It will be easy for them to take them down.
I see.
Basically, you say it's useless.
It's not useless.
Alrighty.
It depends on your success. So, like, if I said the successes, you need 3 successes, and you successfully do it, they would need 2 successes, and if they failed, then you would have the secure engineering. But the fact is, it's their ship, so it's going to be easier for them.
Because it regardless if we put them up, it's going to be easier for them to take it down.
Sure.
So what is your plan now? Once you've got the power off, what is the plan for going forward?
You want to make our way out to the bridge?
Yeah. Out of character, we either hold or advance the bridge, what the enemy will almost certainly try to do is retake engineering, which means that we need to do one of two things. We either leave the NPC Marines behind to hold engineering, or we do something that makes engineering useless if they recapture it. So muck up various controls, trap things, etc.
I think it's too risky to lose engineering, and there's also a space battle happening outside. If we just hold here and make sure they never retake it, I think that's the best idea.
If you can find a security breach, you can find possible ambushes on this ship.
Or you can eject the warp core.
Whoever wants to can make an insight security check to see, because there's a lot of things going on as far as like the pieces of the puzzle. So an insight security check difficulty 2 would help some of those puzzle pieces coalesce into a more of an idea of which direction to take. Because obviously you can't, if you all just stay in engineering, eventually you're all going to be whittled down by the crew. But if you all leave engineering, engineering is going to be easily retaken. So I can give you a more, and I know, Vosky said, leave some Marines. That's a great idea. But we'll see what the insight security checks get.
Do you want us all?
My problem with leaving the Marines is then we just divide.
Right. But also, got to remember, we're fighting in tight corridors, so it's the case of 30 people. I know that's an exaggeration, but okay, 20 people doesn't help us in a tight corridor because we can only have a small number of people at the front of it, if you see what I mean.
But once again, we just need to hold out until the people outside win, because once again, if we take out their engines, they can't do anything, and the people outside are just going to win. So I don't know.
That's why.
So no one else.
That's why I suggested. That's why I suggested.
Carry on.
That's why I said, why don't we just eject the warp core?
Yeah, I'm behind that. I don't know if we can, but if we can, yeah, I'm totally behind that.
All right. So with the inside security that I'm seeing, Vosky, I think I said difficulty 2. So yeah. Now, if this was not an RPG, if this was like a real life situation, leaving a bunch of Marines in one location to kind of, take over, keep control of a certain section of the ship, great idea, because they're highly trained Marines, probably would work. Being this is not that. It's basically, essentially, at that point, it's up to the GM whether or not he wants engineering to be taken. Now, I'm telling you that as a player. That's, as far as your character is concerned, they just don't. They're not thinking about it like that. So it's up to you how you want Vosky to interpret the fact that leaving half of the people behind, in engineering may not be the best idea. I don't have that much threat anymore, actually. So Colonel Lex,
Lies.
Colonel Lex, you on the other hand think that obviously engineering cannot be retaken, at least until the Hellhound has finished what it's doing, which probably will completely disable or destroy the ship. Probably not destroy because you're on it, but completely just disable the ship probably in less than 10 minutes. So there is a high likelihood of, if you guys just hole up in engineering, everything will be taken care of. However, you don't know who exactly is on the ship. You don't know if there's neuroparasites. If the mutants are on the ship, there's a good possibility that they can somehow either retake engineering or stop the Hellhound, what it's doing. So you have a lot of other kind of pieces of the puzzle.
Hold on.
There's also
I'm
There's
liking
also a third
Lex's
factor.
idea more and more, though, because if we just eject the warp core, then we don't have to stay here at all. We can just go take the bridge.
Right.
Okay.
And
Like,
also-
they have. It's going to take so long for them to go get the warp core, tractor it in, and then get it back. Like, it doesn't matter.
yeah.
Let's just eject it.
There's something. There's something else we need to be aware of, especially, and it will be a reason to stay in engineering, is that other than going to the fusion reactors, which are powering the weapons, it'll be the best place to cut power to them, and which will help us in the spaceship fight. But what I'm mainly concerned is that the warp core and the fusion reactors, since we know these infamous guys are a bit of zealous nutters, are likely, when they realize they've lost the fight, to go self-destruct in 10, 9,
Yeah, that's a fair
8.
point. That's a fair point.
And the self-destruct is almost certain to be based on the large power sources. So disabling the self-destruct mechanism.
out of character, can they do that without a warp core? It's my understanding that the warp core is they can. Okay.
Yeah, because so in Star Trek lore, it obviously goes back and forth whether or not you need a warp core to self-destruct. But generally speaking, if you have any nuclear fusion on a ship, it's going to contribute in an explosive factor.
Yeah. Romulans are different too, so it makes sense.
Which makes sense. Why if you take over the weapons area, then what are they gonna do?
Right. So as far as Colonel X, because I'll say this for both Lex and Casal's benefit, because Casal did get 3 successes, so +1 for momentum for that. If you eject the warp core, if you do everything that you guys suggested, that would probably be the best case scenario. Eject the warp core, still leave like half a dozen, maybe 5 people behind just to make sure that they don't tractor it back in, and also send someone to handle either the bridge or the fusion reactors that are controlling, the rest of the ship essentially. So you have enough people to do all of that. You don't have to worry about the external space battle. That's handled, background. Like you're pretty sure they're gonna be able to disable everything. But if you can disable the weapons and the impulse engines before they do more damage to the ship, you then have another ship that you can use, and all you have to do is tractor the warp core back in, and you can go to warp to wherever you need to go. So the only thing you really have to worry about is the number of people that could be on this ship and who is on this ship. Parasites, clones, mutants. That's the major problem, not necessarily if they're going to get the power back online. So it's up to you, Colonel X, since you're in charge, which route you want to take, or if you want to try to do all of that, that's fine too.
I think the bridge is the smartest idea, and Vosky's case, just to kind of lean on this idea a little bit, can we beam off in the time it would take to self-destruct?
Yeah, but the shields would have to be
if we
down.
take the bridge, kill everyone but the captain says self-destruct, can we beam off in that amount of time? Are we just
if
dead?
the shields are down? The shields right now are up.
Okay.
On both ships. So keep that in mind. And the other thing is, Vosky and Casal, you would probably, with your high insight security roll. Well, actually, Vosky, make a. No, I'm not going to make your. I'm just going to remind you because it's better that way. You do have a bunch of unconscious Romulans.
Yeah,
you could also inject them with the anti-parasitic, which would prevent them from being taken over by the parasites. The other thing that you have that basically killed the Klingon, if I remember correctly, is that an anti-parasitic, or is that basically just a?
Yeah,
I remember you gave me a spray when I first got in here.
Yeah, so there have been 3 throughout the course of the campaign. There have been 3 chemicals. Chemical 1 is the thing that renders parasites and their hosts unconscious. Chemical 2 was improvising the mutagenic compounds as a weapon. Chemical 3 is the drug that prevents parasite takeover. The thing which we haven't actually tested on people who've already been taken over, we've only ever used it as a prophylactic, not a cure. But what I've issued the team with, the one that I made in advance, the spray that was just referred to, is the one that renders parasites unconscious, them and their hosts.
Okay.
So it's to disable them.
Okay, so it wouldn't really help the people that are already unconscious. Okay, that's fine, because I don't think you had the anti-parasitic with you anyway, if I remember correctly. I believe that was like a very...
So what spray do I have?
You've got the one that renders parasites and their hosts unconscious.
Right.
I mean, do we got a big jar? Start picking these things off, start putting them in jars like a bunch of leeches?
Well, we don't know if have any of these ones had their parasites scamper out of them.
No,
I'm assuming none of these have got parasite.
None of the engineers were controlled. To be honest, if the lieutenant was the chief engineer, you would think he would be, but they seem to be more allies to the parasites than actual slaves to them.
Okay.
But I only had zip ties.
It's Lex's call, but I think Lex was going down the idea of eject the warp core, then go to the fusion reactor, if I was interpreting that correctly, and leave half a dozen guys behind.
He goes, I'm injecting the warp core now, and he does that.
All right. Control engineering difficulty 4, and it's going to be contested because they're on the bridge with their command codes, and they're going to attempt to keep you from doing that. The good news is it's going to be difficult for them to do it too. So difficulty 4, complication range, I'm going to say is 3.
And I'm going to buy 2 momentum.
Right.
2 dice with 2.
Takes us to 2.
Yep.
Oof, I'm running low on threat.
I'll assist if I may.
I only got 2 successes, so you just need 4 successes and you'll be good.
I'm gonna use a determination.
All right.
Bruise my family.
It's a bit vague. You got anything better? Don't forget you have directives that you can call upon too.
Life is a lesson.
Explain how that pertains to the current situation. If you can, then I'm all for it. If not, probably not.
One that also fits is survive, escape, and resist evade is always good.
Can I actually challenge one?
Ooh, that's a good idea. Which one do you want to challenge?
Basically, my home, my people. Basically,
nice.
We're on a Romulan.
Yeah. That definitely, you're basically fighting your own people. So yeah, that would definitely be challenged. Make sure you erase that, and then by the next session, you have to replace that with something else. But yeah, so you have 2 successes automatically now. Go ahead and roll whatever dice. So you got 5 successes, so you got +1 momentum, which is up to 3.
Do you want me to roll the assist, or are you just happy with what we've got? No?
Control.
Let's just see how extra far you push it into space.
Yeah, so you get it out there, and it's now out floating in space, and you can feel the lights dim, consoles go black, the warp core console itself goes black. Just everything, you could just tell that there's way less power now. And even as you do that, the ship, you can, if you're an engineer like Lex, you can tell the ship stops moving even at impulse. Now, what that means is up to you to decide. You also, those of you more security minded, will be able to tell that the ship has stopped being attacked. No more rumbling. And then you hear an announcement come over your comm badges as well as the internal communication system of the ship. It says the Javaran has surrendered.
Is it the same voice on our communicators, or are we getting a separate message from the Defiant class ship saying, they've surrendered?
No, it is being broadcast to every communication device. Basically, their intent was to make sure everyone knew that they were surrendering.
Permission to roll, I'm guessing insight security, but this would me just be paranoid in a case of, is this a bluff?
Sure, go right ahead. Two successes will give you this bit of information. Romulans are not like Jem'Hadar or Klingons that are happy to just die for glory and honor as much anyway. They will do it, but only if they believe that it's for a higher cause. Now, like I said before, it depends who is in command of the ship. It depends who's on the bridge, who's in control. If it's a Dren clone, more than likely he'll give up and then try to get his way onto your ship and then try to take over from there. If it's Romulans, they may do the same thing, or they may just be happy to surrender, live another day. If they're parasite controlled, they'll probably fight and kill to the death. So if you knew exactly who was in control, you'd have more information, but that's the information I can give you.
Could I roll since I'm part of this military operation?
Sure, insight and security, but unless you get more than 2 successes, the information is pretty much going to be the same.
Since my commander, I've been with my commander. Is there a way I could use predator instincts to see if like he's like there's a form of happiness in his voice, or if it sounds monotone or even off?
You mean the guy who, or the person that just surrendered?
Yeah, like understand if it sounds like. I mean, hell, even cowards will attack you when last second. But I just want to see if it sounds truthful.
Sure.
In that sense,
that is definitely going to be more of a difficulty 4, though, because that's way more specific. And like I said before, you have no idea if it's Romulan, human. You have no idea. So,
all right, so I just roll the same as Edge.
You can spend momentum to get more dice, but otherwise, yeah, you roll insight and security, difficulty 4.
Okay.
And Mac, what you were trying to say?
I was gonna say, say, use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go to stay in engineering, and the rest. Let's go up to the bridge and secure the bridge.
All right. So you got 3 successes. Well, you'll know it's not, Klingon or, one of the mutant Angosians or Mariposans. It's either human or a parasite-controlled human or Romulan, or it's just a Romulan. And it is suspicious, I'm not going to lie, it is suspicious that they would just surrender. But it's not completely out of character, especially if these are actually Romulans and they don't want to break the peace that they have with the Federation over something as menial as whatever it is that they're trying to do. Or they could just be trying to become prisoners to the Hellhound so they can capture Dr. Itel. So those are basically your options. How you proceed kind of will define what happens next. Colonel Lexus stated that everyone should go to the bridge except for those 4, so those 4 will be remaining behind. But I'm gonna jump to the Dreadnought real quick before we end tonight's session in about 10 or 15 minutes. I don't have a picture.
Oh, so fast.
Let's see. I don't really have. Well, I'll just wait and see. Karava,
yep.
You were trying to escape the Dreadnought. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Were you heading to a transporter pad, a cargo bay, a shuttle bay, or an escape pod?
Transporter pad.
All right. So you're in the Medi Bay section of the ship, specifically the detainment center, which doesn't have transporter pads anywhere near it for obvious reasons. They don't want people trying to escape. But you will be able to find a turbo lift, go to a lower deck, and eventually, or do like Drusilla and Engstrom did, and take a long corridor to get to another section of the ship. But I'm going to need you to make a fitness and security roll. Difficulty 2, as the ship is basically starting to burn up in the atmosphere.
I will spend a momentum.
All right.
Okay.
And I'm also going to roll for a couple of other support characters. Ooh. You're out of momentum. The good news is, well, actually, you have 1 momentum now. So the good news is you succeeded. You're not going to go flying off a rail or anything like that, like Ricada Kithel did a couple episodes ago. But you do have a complication. I am going to, let's see, I'm just going to roll a couple of damage dice as you get slammed up against a wall. I'm just going to roll 2. So you smack your head off against a wall, and green blood starts pouring down, and you kind of get dazed a bit, but you don't suffer any lasting injuries. So take 1 stress. And let's see, who else is? Engstrom, can you roll for Narelle? Oh yeah, anyone who has support characters, roll. The difficulty is 2. Edge has Cisness.
Yep.
I've got
I
to
rolled
roll.
for Mikhail. I rolled for him.
Alright, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got to roll 5 times. I'm not going to roll all that on screen because that would take forever for me to get the character sheets out. And ooh. So let's move this. Bring this back up here. All right. General Sonora, hits her head on a bulkhead and collapses. I have to roll for damage. She takes 3 stress and an effect. Basically, she is knocked. She's knocked out.
Okay.
Libby Gordon succeeds.
I'll get some people to pick her up.
Mikhail picks her up.
Oof. Captain Afuli. Alright, where's McCombs? There he is. Captain Afuli is going to suffer an injury as well, or hopefully not an injury, but some damage. So she is going to also be knocked down. Rolling for...
Someone help.
Yeah, they're coming over. By the way, I'm not gonna... I'm not saying she's there yet.
He points to Captain Afuli.
Alright, so while you're helping General Sonora, Idriel's gonna go to his captain. Eesh. And as she's coming over to help as well, that is when a bulkhead falls towards Idriel, and let's see how much damage is gonna do. Probably a lot because it's a bulkhead and he critical failed. Not too much, but still gonna take some damage. He is injured, and the bulkhead has a sharp edge which has went through his side and has pinned him basically to a bulkhead. So now you have 3 injured individuals, and time is running out. You basically have to make a decision. Do you want to try to save all of them and possibly risk falling to the same fate, or do you cut your losses and try to get out of there as soon as possible?
He goes...
We'll take the general and the captain. I think the Adriel has a phase pistol. I'll ask him.
He was just released from his cell. He doesn't have anything.
Oh, okay. I'll ask him. What does he want me to do?
He kind of looks around at everybody, sees everything that's happening, looks over to his captain, and then looks to you, Karava, kind of knowing you guys' past and how you guys did not get along. He just nods to you and he says, "Get the captain out of here." And as he says that, several soldiers begin charging towards you guys from the opposite direction, basically the direction that you came from. And he says, "Just give me a disruptor and I'll hold them off."
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll hand him a disruptor.
Alright.
That probably would have When we were in the armory, I probably would have taken some spares.
Alright, so he is going to hold them off. He fires at them, they fire back as you guys... I'm going to need whoever's picking up Sonora to roll fitness and security, difficulty 2. Same for Afuli, difficulty 2. Since the NPCs are rolling, I'll just roll for them off screen. Oof.
I need one.
By the way, whilst we're on this theme, I don't think you rolled Cisnus's damage. He didn't crit fail, but he did fail.
Oh, did he? I didn't even see that. Okay, yeah. I'll roll for his damage.
I'll get someone to assist me.
I'm actually helping with...
Just so you know, both of them together were able to pick her up, so you don't have to worry about her. But yeah, let me see. Can you just roll like 2 damage die? Or actually, you failed, right? I'll just roll it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and an effect. So he takes 4 stress, and I'll let you decide the effect. Is he knocked out? Is he basically does he have an injury to his hand, which prevents him from operating a weapon? Is he just knocked down and has to get back up? What's his effect?
Sorry, you were going to say something, Mac.
Go ahead.
It's tempting to choose the least damaging of those, but that's not fair. So what I'll do is I'll leave it up to the lap of the gods, and he has been knocked down to the ground. 3 for the last one that you mentioned.
All right.
So yeah, he's just been knocked down to the ground and needs to get back up.
All right. And what about you, Mac? Were you able to pick up Sonora?
No, I needed help with that.
All right. Norel, fitness and security, difficulty. Oh, still needs help. Karava, they got 3 people trying to pick up 1 person.
Oh boy.
Okay,
just roll 1 dice for Karava, fitness and security. Alright, so you managed to grab, the 3 of you together, grab her, and you begin running. You finally managed to find your way to a medical transporter that's several minutes down the corridor, and he has of course managed to keep the guards away from you. So now you are going to need to make this roll. If you do not make this roll, you will go down with the ship, so this should be something that you take that into consideration. It's going to be daring and engineering. Difficulty is 4. You have a transporter, that's great, but you're trying to lock on somewhere on the planet or a ship or somewhere that does not have a transporter, while the ship that you're currently on is shaking crazily. And I'm increasing the complication range to 3 as well.
Okay. I will. How much advantage? How much momentum do we have left?
I don't know.
Didn't she actually tell us? None.
Yeah, we've got no momentum.
Oh, that's been 2 fret.
All right.
Weren't we transporting to her ship?
Did she say that?
Yeah.
Sure, you can transport to her ship. Her ship is offline though, so you don't have a transporter pad to beam onto. Still gonna be the same difficulty. You still got to target it, find it, and beam over.
Yeah, I'm just letting you know.
Right.
She did tell us where the position it was.
All right.
Would the value puzzle solver work come into this?
Sure.
I'm gonna spend a determination.
All right. So you have 2 successes. You just need 2 more, and obviously the ship is not going to assist you.
No.
Wow. Is anyone else going to assist? He needs 1 more success. Like Mikam, nope.
Daring engineering. Let's have a look. See. I mean, might as well. It's just the 1.
Try.
What do we have to lose?
What do we have
Exactly.
to lose?
There you go. So you got an actual momentum from that. Unfortunately, with one momentum, you'll have to re-roll the d20 at a complication range of 5. So I'll let Colonel Carava, if you want to do that, roll 1d20, dip complication range 5. Oh, so you got 2 more momentum. So now you have 3 momentum if I am doing math correctly, which I rarely do. Or 2. Okay, that's fine too. But you managed to beam on to General Sonora's ship, the Axia, and I'm going to need someone to do some crazy flying, and that sounds like a con officer's job, Cisnus.
Hooray!
Daring and con, things are falling around you. Like the ship is in a cargo or a hangar bay like that you saw earlier. However, and I'm assuming you beamed onto the bridge.
Yes.
Yep.
So you're going to need to tap at the console to get everything up and running again. And then daring and con.
Curses. I'm a control con man, but here we go.
It's difficulty 3. Things are falling around you, and you still have force fields going up to seal the breaches.
Okay.
So it's going to be difficult.
So we've got 2 momentum.
Yes, you can use it if you.
Yeah, and it's difficulty 3. I'm going to consume one of those momentum, so I've still got 1 to do a gamble buy off of a complication, and I will generate 2 points of threat. Yeah, to be rolling 5 dice total. Here we go. Whoopah! Excellent. I will. That's enough successes, and I will use that 1 momentum to gamble re-roll the complication, which will turn in with 2 higher complication range, which will turn into huzzah! Succeed with 1 momentum.
All right.
Ooh, look at this.
So you're kind of in the same situation that you were in before, in that you are operating a massive starship with like half a dozen people. So you are able to get the ship out of the ship, the dreadnought that is falling towards the planet. However, it's going to be a difficulty to keep it going. Not to mention the fact that you're in another galaxy. So that is where we're going to end. Still haven't made it to the planet, damn it. But I will get you there if I have to destroy every ship that you board.
Never!
It's too bad that we didn't just beam aboard too.
Yeah,
oh well.
Oh yeah, let's do Angstrom real quick.
We have to get you.
Let's do Angstrom.
Yeah.
And then we'll be done for today. So Angstrom, you, if I remember correctly, with Drusilla made it to a personal transporter or a cargo transporter.
Something like that.
Drusilla's like a full-on doctor, so that's going to require you to do some control engineering. Unfortunately, the same as before. I think I said difficulty 3. Well,
okay, and we've got 1 momentum.
If you're transporting to the planet, it's difficulty 3. If you're transporting to a ship, it's difficulty 4. Most of the ships on this dreadnought are deactivated, and the ones that are not are being flown away by bad guys. So,
well, let's see. I still have 1 determination left since I had the milestone last game, so I think that this calls for 1 of those. Let me see. Probably survive, escape, evade, resist. We need to get off this ship.
Yeah.
Could I have a message to see if anybody?
Yeah, you. Well, you have to.
I mean, if your shields are up, that's not going to help.
Well, it depends. So
you also have to remember that broadcasting that message will cause everyone with guns to point them at us.
That is also true.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I don't worry about it.
Plus, I don't really think Carava or anyone else would know to do that, because you don't know how many people on the dreadnought are actually, your people, and how many are traitors or enemies or.
That's what I mean.
I'll roll an assist off screen for Drusilla, an 8, so not bad. So that's 1 success. assuming she has a 7 and a 1 at least.
And then you said control engineering, difficulty of 3, and I've got the determination.
But I have all this threat.
Because we're...
Complication range is going to be 4.
Well, I have nothing to lose, do I?
No,
at
you
this
don't.
point.
Definitely do not.
I'm just checking to see what other tricks I might be able to have. I don't really... Okay, so like I said, I'm going to use that extra determination to at least get 2 successes. And Drusilla, you said was...
She got 1 success.
Okay, so I just need to get 1 more with my 10 and 1. So we'll see if I can
Wait,
do
did you
that.
say you're using a determination?
Yeah.
Well,
wait,
then
that's the wrong
that gave
one.
you 2 successes automatically, so you have your 3. You just need to not fail the roll.
I clicked the wrong die, so let's get the right die. Oh, lovely.
So let's see, 3, 4, 5.
You can reroll it.
So you got 3 momentum, so you can reroll it, or you can just spend it off to get rid of it.
The other thing I have is under my awards and reputation, I have the Legion of Honor, where I can ignore 1 single complication.
Nice.
I have to do that before you announce the effect of the complication, basically.
Yeah.
I can do it once per mission.
That's fine. So you
I'm going to use that.
All right, you managed to, and you know what? Karava's not there, but I'm going to use it anyway. God damn it, because I've been waiting forever to use this damn screen. And yeah, basically, you beam down, and as soon as you do, you see Romulans shooting at you. So that's where we're going to pick up next.
Oh, wow.
All right.
And you're happy about it.
I still don't have a gun, so this is going to be great, guys.
All right.
That just makes it fair.
Begin Seinfeld music as you begin getting shot at.
Yeah. It's about time I took some damage after all.
All right. Just because I've got to bounce, we'll do reputation over private messages later on. If anybody has an idea, just because I'm going to end up asking this anyway, if anyone has any ideas for who you want to get a spotlight milestone, go ahead and message me that. That way, when I message you the reputation and the milestones, then we can already have the vote or the poll and the voting all done, and I can figure out who gets that. Otherwise, does anyone have